Picture the scene. A single phone call reverberates through the world of football, sending shockwaves from Manchester to Melbourne. Manchester United, a club steeped in history and synonymous with global sporting prestige, has just stunned the footballing world and broken open its vault by agreeing to a transfer fee exceeding £70 million for Bryan Mbeumo, a name that only a few years ago was more familiar to Brentford's faithful than to the global football audience. Yet this isn't just another jaw-dropping transfer headline. It's the climax of years, yes, years, of relentless scouting, strategic planning, nerve-wracking negotiations, and a display of brinkmanship worthy of the high-stakes world of modern football. This saga is not only about money changing hands. It is a story of ambition, calculated risk, and the relentless arms race that shapes the very fabric of the footballing economy. More than anything, it's a window into how the business of football is morphing before our eyes, changing the lives of clubs, players, and fans in ways that would have seemed unimaginable a decade ago. Let's step behind the scenes. Manchester United, still considered one of the most valuable and widely supported sports franchises on earth, has found itself navigating turbulent waters in recent seasons. The glory of the Sir Alex Ferguson era has faded into memory, replaced by a period of transition, repeated managerial changes, and a restless fan base hungry for trophies. With every transfer window, the pressure mounts. Supporters in Manchester, investors in New York, and fans from Mumbai to Melbourne scrutinize every decision. For United, bringing in a new player is never just about improving the starting 11. It's about sending a thunderous message. We are still a force to be reckoned with. We can still lure the best talents, and we will stop at nothing, financially or otherwise, to return to the summit of world football. Enter Bryan Mbeumo, a dynamic, electrifying forward whose journey encapsulates the remarkable transformation of English football. Born in Avallon, France, to Cameroonian parents, Mbeumo's footballing roots trace back to the youth academy of Troyes, a club that has long prided itself on nurturing raw talent. Rising through the ranks, Mbeumo's breakthrough came in Ligue 2, the second division of French football, where his pace, technical skill, and eye for goal quickly made him a standout. His move to Brentford, at a time when the club was still battling in the lower tiers of English football, was initially seen as a gamble, but it proved to be a masterstroke. Since Brentford's historic promotion to the Premier League, Mbeumo has averaged 18 goal contributions per season, a remarkable feat, especially considering the club's limited resources and relatively modest standing in the league hierarchy. His versatility, capable of operating on the right flank or through the center, combined with an indefatigable work ethic, has made him a coveted target for Europe's footballing elite. United's interest in Mbeumo didn't spring out of nowhere. Insiders reveal that the club's scouting and recruitment department, a sophisticated blend of old-school scouts and cutting-edge data analysts, had earmarked Mbeumo as a priority target more than 2 years ago. In the data-driven world of modern football, every aspect of a player's performance is dissected. Expected goals, progressive runs, pressing intensity, and even psychological metrics such as resilience and adaptability are logged and analyzed. United's tracking of Mbeumo became a case study in how 21st-century clubs operate, leveraging gigabytes of data to complement gut instinct and traditional scouting wisdom. But if identifying the right target was a matter of science, closing the deal was pure theater. Negotiations between Brentford and Manchester United unfolded as a tense, high-stakes chess match, with each side leveraging every ounce of bargaining power. Brentford, renowned throughout England for their use of analytics and shrewd transfer dealings, saw an opportunity to set a new benchmark in the market. When United's first offer, reportedly £55 million, landed on the table, Brentford's board viewed it as derisory, especially in light of rival clubs like Tottenham submitting even higher bids. United returned with a second proposal, this time £62.5 million, but Brentford held firm, countering with a jaw-dropping demand of £77 million. The negotiations became so fraught that at one stage, Brentford urged Mbeumo to consider lowering his wage demands or even pivoting to another suitor, such as Tottenham or Arsenal, both of whom were waiting in the wings with attractive proposals of their own. Yet for Mbeumo, the allure of Manchester United was irresistible. At 25 years old, entering the prime of his career, he faced the crossroads that every ambitious footballer dreams of. The chance to play at the iconic Old Trafford, for the club whose shirt he had worn as a boy, was non-negotiable. As he put it in his first interview as a United player, "As soon as I knew there was a chance to join Manchester United, I had to seize the opportunity to sign for the club of my dreams. the team whose shirt I wore growing up. This raw, emotional pull, often overlooked in the cold arithmetic of transfer negotiations, proved decisive, and ultimately, a deal was struck. The final agreement, hammered out after weeks of brinkmanship, landed at a fixed fee of £65 million, with a further £6 million in performance-related add-ons tied to goals, assists, and Champions League qualification. The contract details are equally striking: a 5-year deal with an option for a sixth, a weekly wage of £250,000, and agent fees totaling £4.5 million. These numbers are not just bookkeeping entries. They are the latest evidence of the gravitational pull of modern football finance. As financial analyst Kieran Maguire observes, this transfer highlights the increasing financial pressures on clubs to generate revenue through player sales. But what truly makes this deal seismic is the ripple effect it sends throughout football's ecosystem. For Manchester United, the capture of Mbeumo is not just about filling a tactical gap or refreshing the squad. It's a statement of intent to fans, sponsors, rivals, and the wider footballing world. Jason Wilcox, the club's director of football, encapsulated the mood. Bryan's goals and assists record in the Premier League is exceptional. His remarkable consistency has put him amongst the most productive players in England for the last 3 seasons. Bryan's belief in our project and determination to join the club confirmed that he was the perfect fit for Manchester United and the culture that we are developing. Expectations have rarely been higher. Industry analysts predict that Mbeumo's arrival could lead to a surge in Manchester United's global shirt sales by as much as 15%. For a club whose fan base is estimated in the hundreds of millions, that kind of increase translates into tens of millions of pounds in direct revenue and, perhaps more importantly, immeasurable gains in brand equity. The upcoming preseason tour in the United States will be a critical showcase, with every move, every touch, and every goal from Mbeumo broadcast to a worldwide audience eager to witness the next chapter in United's storied history. From a tactical standpoint, the implications are profound. Gary Neville, former United captain and now a leading pundit, is enthusiastic. Mbeumo's pace and directness will add a completely new dimension to United's attack. His versatility, comfortable both on the right wing and as a central striker, gives new manager Ruben Amorim a wealth of tactical options. Imagine a fluid front line featuring Mbeumo, Marcus Rashford, and Bruno Fernandes, an attacking trident capable of unlocking any defense in the league. The hope among United supporters is that Mbeumo's energy, creativity, and relentless pressing will breathe new life into a team that has, at times, appeared staid and predictable. Yet, as any seasoned football watcher knows, the risks are just as real as the potential rewards. The Premier League is an unforgiving arena, and the leap from Brentford to Manchester United is more than just a step up. It's a plunge into a world where every performance is dissected, every misstep magnified. Alan Shearer, the league's all-time top scorer, offers a word of caution. He has the potential to be a top goal scorer, but the pressure at United is on a whole different level. The history books are littered with big-money signings who struggled to cope with the unique demands of Old Trafford. Names like Angel Di Maria and Alexis Sanchez serve as stark reminders that talent alone is never enough. Mbeumo will need not only skill but also resilience, adaptability, and a thick skin to thrive in this new environment. For Brentford, the consequences are equally momentous. The £71 million windfall, an astronomical sum by the club's standards, offers the chance to reinvest, to strengthen the squad, and to secure their long-term Premier League status. But it also creates a gaping hole in their attack. Club insiders report that Brentford's recruitment team, famed for its analytics-driven approach, has already ramped up scouting operations in Spain and France, scouring the market for the next hidden gem. The challenge, however, is formidable. Replacing a player who has averaged 18 goal contributions per season is a daunting task. If Brentford succeed in unearthing another star and continue their ascent, they will cement their reputation as one of England's most progressive clubs. If not, they could find themselves sliding down the table, with fans and board members alike questioning whether the sale was worth the risk. To fully appreciate the significance of this transfer, it helps to view it in the context of football's evolving economic landscape. Gone are the days when a handful of superclubs dictated the market. Today, even mid-table teams like Brentford wield considerable clout, leveraging television revenues, global fan engagement, and sophisticated analytics to negotiate from positions of strength. The Mbeumo deal is emblematic of this shift. As Gabriele Marcotti of ESPN notes, the transfer is a gamble for United, but it could pay off if he clicks with the other attackers. Let's take a moment to consider the personal journey that brought Bryan Mbeumo to the theater of dreams. Born in a modest French town, he was raised in a family that valued hard work, discipline, and community. His rise through the ranks at Troyes was not without setbacks. Early injuries, doubts from coaches, and the ever-present financial pressures faced by young players in lower division football. Yet Mbeumo's resilience shone through. At Brentford, he quickly established himself as a model professional, known for arriving early to training, staying late to work on finishing, and mentoring younger teammates. In interviews, he often credits his family and early coaches for instilling the values that have fueled his rise. Upon signing for United, Mbeumo reflected, "My mentality is to always be better than I was yesterday. I know that I have the spirit and character to reach another level here." Learning from Ruben Amorim and playing alongside world-class players. The transfer also casts a spotlight on the increasingly complex web of relationships that underpins modern football. Agent fees, performance bonuses, and image rights have become central to every major deal. The £4.5 million paid to intermediaries in this transaction is a stark reminder of the growing influence of agents, not just in England, but across Europe. These intermediaries shape careers, sway negotiations, and, at times, become power brokers whose decisions ripple across entire leagues. As the dust settles, the focus now shifts to what happens next. For Manchester United, the £71 million gamble will be analyzed, debated, and, inevitably, judged in the harshest possible light. Should Mbeumo adapt quickly, find the net consistently, and help propel United back to glory, the move will be hailed as visionary, a testament to patient scouting, strategic investment, and managerial foresight. The story will enter Old Trafford folklore, cited by future generations as a turning point in the club's resurgence. But football, as ever, is unpredictable. If Mbeumo struggles to find his feet, if injuries or tactical mismatches limit his impact, the repercussions could be severe. The media will circle, social media will erupt, and the pressure on the club's recruitment team will reach fever pitch. Already, some critics are drawing comparisons to previous high-profile flops, warning that United cannot afford another expensive misstep. In a world where reputations are made and broken in the space of a few matches, the stakes could hardly be higher. Brentford, meanwhile, stands at a crossroads. The club's buy low, sell high model has been the envy of their peers, but it comes with inherent risks. There's a fine line between being a smart selling club and becoming a mere stepping stone for bigger teams. If Brentford can reinvest the Mbeumo windfall wisely, maintain their Premier League status, or even push for European competition, they will be celebrated as one of the most innovative clubs in English football. But if the gamble fails, they risk becoming a cautionary tale, a club that traded its star for quick cash, only to fall short on the pitch. The broader ramifications of this deal extend far beyond the English game. Across Europe, clubs are watching closely, studying the mechanics and outcomes of high-profile transfers like Mbeumo's. With new financial regulations looming, the ever-present threat of a breakaway Super League, and rapidly evolving patterns of global fan engagement, the stakes have never been higher. Every transfer is now a litmus test, not just of financial muscle, but of strategic vision, adaptability, and execution. So, what lessons can we distill from this transfer saga for those watching from the outside? First, negotiation remains both an art and a science. Brentford's determination to hold out for their valuation, even at the risk of alienating a giant like United, demonstrates the power of leverage and patience. United's persistence, meanwhile, shows that even amid frustration and public scrutiny, strategic flexibility and long-term planning can ultimately pay off. The drawn-out nature of these talks, with their last-minute twists and brinksmanship, offers a real-time masterclass in how high-value deals are constructed and sometimes almost fall apart in the modern game. Second, the story underlines the importance of adaptability. Mbeumo's ascent from France's second division to the Premier League and now to one of the biggest clubs in the world required not only talent, but a willingness to embrace new challenges, adapt to different cultures, and make personal sacrifices. His willingness to accept a lower wage than might have been offered elsewhere is a reminder that ambition and the pursuit of dreams often outweigh short-term financial gain. For aspiring footballers, business leaders, and anyone facing life's crossroads, Mbeumo's journey is a resounding testament to resilience and single-minded focus. Third, the transfer highlights the growing role of analytics in football decision-making. Both Brentford and Manchester United now employ teams of analysts who pore over datasets, ranging from sprint speeds to psychological profiles. The era of gut-feel scouting is fading, replaced by a more systematic, evidence-driven approach. Clubs that fail to embrace this trend risk being left behind as data and technology transform recruitment and player development. It's also worth noting the impact such deals have on the wider footballing community. For fans, transfers represent hope and expectation, a chance to dream anew, to believe that next season will be different. For the players, it is a leap into the unknown, an opportunity laced with both promise and peril. For clubs, it is a balancing act between ambition and fiscal responsibility, between the allure of instant success and the necessity of long-term planning. But perhaps the most important lesson is that football, for all its sophistication and financial clout, remains gloriously unpredictable. Even the most meticulously planned transfer can be derailed by form, injury, or the intangible chemistry of a dressing room. Fans, pundits, and executives alike now await Mbeumo's first competitive appearance in United colours with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Will he be the missing piece in United's quest for silverware, or will the weight of expectation prove too heavy? The coming months will provide the first clues. Should Mbeumo dazzle in the Premier League with his trademark runs, clever assists, and crucial goals, the narrative will shift from skepticism to celebration. Merchandise sales will soar, social media will buzz with excitement, and Manchester United will reclaim its place at the forefront of football's global conversation. But if the goals dry up or the chemistry fails to develop, the critics will be swift and unforgiving. The relentless pressure to justify such a lavish outlay never fades. For Brentford, the immediate focus will be on how astutely they can reinvest. Already, names from La Liga and League One are being linked as potential successors, and the club's famed analytics team is working overtime to identify undervalued talent. The transfer fee, while transformative, brings a new level of expectation. Supporters will demand evidence that the club can not only survive, but thrive in the post-Mbeumo era. Every misstep will be scrutinized, every signing compared to the departed star. Globally, the Mbeumo saga is being dissected in boardrooms from Madrid to Milan, from New York to Nairobi. For agents, club executives, and analysts, this deal offers both a blueprint and a warning. The next generation of superstars, the next wave of negotiations, will be shaped by the lessons learned from what unfolds at Old Trafford and the Brentford Community Stadium. Let's not forget the human side of this business. Thomas Frank, Brentford's manager, summed up the bittersweet feeling. Mbeumo is a fantastic player, and we wish him all the best at Manchester United. His departure is a big loss for us. Such moments remind us that, amid the spreadsheets and headlines, football remains a deeply emotional game, built on relationships, memories, and shared dreams. In closing, the story of Bryan Mbeumo's record-breaking move is far more than a tale of money and ambition. It is a lens through which we see the soul of modern football, a game shaped by dreams, data, and the ever-present force of economics. It is a reminder that every transfer is a calculated risk, every negotiation a test of nerve, and every debut a chance to etch a new chapter in sporting history. Here's a final, behind-the-scenes fact. Manchester United's pursuit of Mbeumo was anything but a knee-jerk reaction to a disappointing campaign. It was the product of more than 2 years of methodical scouting, patient relationship building with agents, and rigorous analysis, not just of numbers, but of character and mentality. This was no panic buy, but a carefully calibrated risk, one that could help define the next era at Old Trafford. So will Bryan Mbeumo ascend to the status of United legend? Or will this record fee be remembered as a cautionary tale whispered in the corridors of Carrington? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The eyes of the football world will be watching every minute, every match, every milestone. If you're passionate about the high-stakes world of football economics, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Will Mbeumo thrive on the biggest stage of all, or is this a gamble too far for Manchester United? We want to hear your opinions, so join the conversation